Good evening, Bhante Subhuti.
Hmm.
Thanks for doing this Q&A session. I want to ask you, what is the most memorable lesson you've learned since you ordained? So that's part one of the question. Part two is, if there was one piece of advice you would give to a layperson, what would it be?
So the most memorable thing or the most important thing that I have learned that I try to remember is is about cause and effect. This is the most important thing about Buddhism. It's the core to the Four Noble Truths. It's the core of Paticca Samuppada, dependent origination. In short, if you do good things happen. If you do bad things happen. And this is what happens, how the rebirth is actually, um, how rebirth happens, and how your next life or your previous lives, how they are selected, and when you're living, how good things happen to you, how bad things happen to you. It's all dependent on one's karma, one's actions, one's speech, bodily speech and mind. And the goal is to understand this and to live by this and to develop awareness and insight into this in order to remove those causes and to escape from rebirth. And this is very, very basic, very essential, very deep. One can learn this on an extremely deep level by knowing about mental processes and the particles in one's body and all the different types, and then understanding the causes of these mental processes and the particles in the body, and how rebirth works on that level. On a superficial level, one can just understand that if you do good things with a wholesome mind, then good things will follow, and next birth will be good. If you do bad things, the opposite. Bad things will follow. If you do it enough, you get a bad birth. We don't really know how. It's very difficult to predict the actual future birth, because there's so many karmas that can arise at the time of death, and only one of them will get selected. But in general, whatever the birth is, the residual karma, which is quite large, will cause one to experience good or bad effects in that life. Maybe the lifetime will be long if they led a wholesome life, or the lifetime will be short if the previous life they were previous lives they had killed different beings and whatever. Matter of fact, I was just teaching that to someone on my alms round. Her son was murdered, and he was such a good person in the mother's eyes, and I had to explain that to her. And that leads to the second question about what I teach other people. So what I believe is the most important thing that I have learned is obviously what I would teach to other people, and that is the same thing, cause and effect. That if you do good things will happen. And my method of doing that is related to my alms round. So just about every day, I'm going out and about and collecting my food, and specifically in the villages where it happens, where I really get to interface with people. But when I'm out and about, I still meet people, and people give me food, and so I explain the blessing. I ask them if they want a blessing. After they give me some food, I say, "Would you like a blessing?" And usually the people who are interested in giving a monk food usually say yes, but some don't have time, and they just run away very quickly. But most people are very interested, and so they're getting ready. They're prepared to hear some type of, abracadabra speech, something they don't know what it means, something magical, something, that will ooh and and, they would just, feel blessed, right? So it's just some magic words and okay, it's finished. But I don't do that. I teach what the blessing is about in English before I teach it, before I chant the blessing. And so I normally chant the standard chant that we do in Thailand, Sabbiti Ovavajjantu Sabbarogo Vinasatu Mate Bhavatantarayo Sukhi Digayu Kovava Abhivadana Sili Sanicham Mudha Pachahino Chattaro Dhamma Vadanti Ayuvano Sukham Balang. So normally I tell them the last line, which is Chattaro Dhamma Ayuvano Sukham Balang. There are 4 Dhammas. Chattaro is 4, Dhamma is qualities. And I also explained to them that Dhammas is the same word as Dharmas, and the qualities are the teachings. Everybody knows that Dharma is the teaching, but it's actually the qualities. And then I teach them the Ayu Wano Sukham Balang. Ayu is long life. Wano is one's physical appearance, usually beauty and handsomeness. And Sukham is happiness, and Balang is energy or strength. And so I usually open up my bowl and I show them exactly what they gave to me already. And if there's other people who gave to me as well, I tell them that I get these qualities combined with their donation and the other people's donations, and they get these qualities back, because what comes around goes around. So always do everything with loving kindness. I always tell them like this, and usually they say thank you. They get really happy about that, and I haven't even given the blessing, and it's really nice. And so then I tell them that now I would like to give the blessing, and I chant in the Pali language. And I always tell them, always do everything with loving kindness, because what comes around goes around. And don't do anything with anger. If you're angry, don't do anything. Don't speak. Don't send a text. Don't send emails. Don't do anything, especially with action. And this is a little bit of cause and effect that everybody can understand. It's very clear. And so what I want to teach people is that they make their own blessing. This is very important, that they make their own blessing, and they become very happy about that. One time I was asked to give a blessing on New Year's Day. I still remember that. And there was this lady with maybe 4 kids. They had a little slumber party, on New Year's Eve, and it was New Year's Day, and they were getting a juice or something from the Kauai Juice shopping center or whatever. And I was walking there, and they asked me to give a blessing, and I said, normally I give a blessing related to food, but I'll give you another blessing. And I gave them the Bhavatu Savamangalam blessing. It's Bhavatu Savamangalam Rakantu Sabadevata Sabba Buddhang Sabba Dhammam Sabba Sankhang Bhavanya Sadasvati Bhavantate. This is a short version. We repeat it 3 times for Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. What it means is, may you get the blessings. May the devas protect you through the power of the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. May you be well and happy. So that's what it means. And I tell them that it's not just a blessing. You have to be good in morality, and then I teach them about the 5 precepts: not to kill, not to steal, not to engage in sexual misconduct, not to lie, and not to take intoxicants, drinking, alcohol, drugs, things like that. And that if they do good things, these angel beings will protect them, because they followed through the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. The Buddha is the person who discovered the teachings. The Dhamma is the teachings, and the Sangha are the people who have attained the teachings. And on a basic level, this means sila and also the sila, samadhi, panya. So that on the basic level, it's following the 5 precepts. And so we're asking the devas to protect these people, and we want them to be protected. But really, they must follow the morality, the sila, the 5 precepts. Because if we would just ask normal people, hey, can you protect this person? Maybe he's a murderer. Who wants to protect a murderer? We should protect a murderer anyways, but people might not want to. And so in the same way, the devas might not be inclined to protect such people. So they must follow the morality, and it's very important. So in this way, this is a cause and effect, and it's actually something that one can experience here and now in this lifetime. A lot of times the karma is usually most effective in next life. It comes back to you, the vipaka, the effects come back in the next life. But in this life, it can come back to you. If you're a good person in this life, people can protect you, and you can get the blessings. And so if you follow the teachings, I tell them, if you follow the teachings, then you can make your own blessing. In the same way that if you make donation, you make your own blessing. So you have to follow the teachings. And that's what I told them. And it was really funny. I went to the doctor, I don't know, maybe 4 months later. I went to the doctor maybe 4 months later, and the doctor was the husband of that lady with those kids. And he told me that he heard about this blessing. What comes around goes around.